may have heard there's a movie in theaters right now called True Grit by the Coen brothers. Happens to be my favorite movie of all of 2010.
Wow.
But that movie, which was based on a novel by Charles Portis, is the second adaptation of that novel. The first being back in 1969. It has now been released on Blu Ray. It stars the legendary John Wayne.
The one and only.
The Duke himself.
That was my bad, John
Hey,
Wayne.
Pilgrim.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
Glenn Campbell co-stars, and it is a Western about a little girl whose father is gunned down, and she goes to find redemption,
vengeance,
revenge on this man by hiring John Wayne, who plays Rooster Cockburn.
A man with true grit.
Well,
I saw this version after I saw
as did I.
The new one, which made for a very different viewing experience because obviously this is a movie of its time. This was made in 1969, so there are things they did differently. I would be lying if I said that I liked this one better than the new one, because I really enjoyed the new one. This one was enjoyable because it's John Wayne and because it's a Western of its time, but there were a lot of moments where I found myself kind of laughing out loud.
It's interesting to see who pops up. You know, you have Dennis Hopper as a young man.
Robert Duvall,
yeah.
And the performances are great. It's just a different time. So they stick pretty much to the same story in terms of the plot and how things move forward.
Although the ending is very different.
The ending is very different. And that is also, I think, a product of its time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
John Wayne is fun.
This is a classic.
It is. John Wayne won an Academy Award for this performance.
He did, and he's great. He's very charming.
Doesn't pay any attention to me.
The transfer is really nice.
The transfer's
it looks really
beautiful.
great on Blu Ray.
Sounds really good, too.
Yeah, and there's some wonderful special features. There's one that's all about what it was like working with the Duke. You know, there's a lot here. This is a classic, especially if you like the new version of True Grit. It's really interesting to see what are the similarities and what are the differences and what must have definitely been in the book because it's there. A few things that I gave the Coens credit for, that it's clearly in the book because that's how it happens. The most shocking thing about this movie to me, it's rated G.
Yeah.
And there's hangings, shootings.
True. I didn't even think about that.
Stabbings, blood. And it was rated G. That's how much the world has changed right there.
Well, maybe we should rate more things like that G.
Maybe.
Maybe we should go back. Or maybe not.
I mean, because like little kids liked Westerns, and I think they're like, yeah, sure, yeah.
And
sure, people get hanged. No problem.
Actually, what surprised me was how similar a lot of the scenes were. It is really fascinating. If you're a fan of the Coen brothers, if you're a fan of John Wayne, you definitely should see this, at least.
I think it's a great Blu-ray package and something well worth watching for sure.
And so?
I'm going to give it an 8.
7.5 for me.